So welcome to another random game blog. And what did we do today? Well, we started out by rolling our random wheel of development, and it landed this time on resources, which funnily enough is exactly what it did last time as well. So I started out by implementing salt into the game. So we got this new lovely salt sprite that was produced by my brother, and we can get that into game with a work thing. So it's a new resource. It's in game. It spawns randomly on the map correctly. You can assign workers to it correctly. When you assign workers, they generate salt correctly, and you can sell that salt. All of that we did in about 25 minutes, which I was really pleased about. Apart from the art itself, the art was provided. So really good progress with that. So that's another new resource you can just sort of hit in game and have some fun with. After that, I then hit the wheel of random wheel development again, and it landed on battles. So the battling mechanics are something I'm taking straight out of King of Dragon Pass, which is a fantastic game. What I want to do is sort of build up levels of how hard of an attack you get. So I put in a new piece of logic in that battle spawner that sort of refers to the game clock. So that's the amount of time you've been running. I'm basically saying it's going to add, for every year you've been in game, it's going to add 1 to that score, which is just a sort of citer in terms of how difficult those battles should be. This is roughly equivalent to adding a family every year, which is about right. About right. Maybe that's a little bit too low, but final game balance is not really the question here. What's interesting is that in order to sort that out, I had to get firm on defining how long a year is in game, right? Because I'm tying it to the number of cycles in the game, which is 60 cycles per second. That's sort of almost universally fixed. And what I'm attaching to that is a lot of the sort of logic around timings. Now, these have been adjusted, were adjusted today. So we get sort of 4 kind of time periods in game. We get a week, which we're going to call 200 cycles, which is 3 seconds, which is fine. That makes sense. And then on top of that, we've got a month, which is 800 cycles. And then we've got this 3-month time period, which is obviously 3 months, but I've defined it exactly. So all of these are defined in terms exactly. So a month is 4 weeks. 3 months is obviously 3 months, and a year is then 4 lots of 3 months. So these ratios work exactly, which means I've got exactly 48 weeks in my game year, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. In fact, if anything, what I should probably do is stretch the definition of a week to be slightly longer. This is good. One of the things this means is that I was able to go in and update my HUD sprite. So you can see here, if I just open that up and make it a little bit clearer for you, I've gone from the old 4 months, which was a little bit weird, so I now have a 3-month time period. I was thinking about what I would write there. So quarter didn't sound quite right, because quarter is a very modern term. It's a very sort of financial. What's your quarter growth like? Also, quartering in the 16th century meant quite a few different things, including providing financial support and other things like that. So quartering, I decided not to apply. Instead, what I did apply was to say, well, we have 3 months. Oh, I could have done seasons, so 1 season. But the problem with that is that I've defined a season in game to be 6 months long because I just wanted to have 2 seasons, winter and summer, and then maybe in the summer you choose to do something slightly differently to how you would do things in the winter. That's the idea. So I put that in, and the final thing I did was to build in year and island name. So now the island name will actually display on the screen. So when you come to rename your island, which is a functionality I definitely intend to build in, you will be able to see that on your GUI in bold, possibly with some sort of fleur-de-lis around it or something like that to make it bold, and also year. So slight design question around what sort of year I want to use. King of Dragon Pass starts at 800, I think. Historical games have tried to stick to sort of historical timelines. I kind of said 1680. The reason I said that is because I want the game to last no more than about 20 years. And in fact, I might give you a game over if you get to 20 years. And having a sort of reverse countdown to the year 1700, that felt sort of natural. But you might have to see about that. See how I feel about that. Counting up, and it gives you some sort of sense of how you're getting on in game and how things are progressing and all this sort of thing. So I'm quite happy. That is where I am for now. That was a good day's development, I think. And I had a little look at some Canadian names with I was joined by a Canadian gentleman on stream, which was quite nice. So, cheers all.